In this video, you're going to see several cool components if you're learning how to build your real estate website and build it so that it ranks well in the search engines, plus provides a quality user experience. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually rebuilding a lot of my pages because we rolled something out new with our Ballen real estate websites called showcase pages. So what I'm doing is I ran an SEO audit report on my website, and I'm finding all of the old errors or issues or warnings that are popping up from my SEO report, and I'm starting there, building all my new showcase pages around those old warnings. So for example, what I'm working on, what I've already cleaned up completely, is any broken links that were on the website, possibly from any moves or just oversights, or you link out to a website and then that company, their website goes down for some reason. I cleaned all that stuff up first, so there's no issues. I made sure I didn't have any duplicate content on the website, so there's no issues there whatsoever. And some duplicate content in your meta tags or your titles, I don't have any of that. So once I made sure there were no redirect chain loops or any other errors, I moved over to the warnings. And some of these issues will be things like your title is too long, your meta description is too long. And these aren't necessarily things that are going to kill your rankings on the search engines, but as a best practice, we want to make sure that we're keeping our titles within the limits so that they don't get cut off, or our meta descriptions within the limits, they don't get cut off. And it looks better on the search engine's results page. So for example, if I were to go over here to the search engine results page, and let's just make something up. Let's do flower delivery in Las Vegas. Completely random, okay? So you can see here the first four spots are paid listings, and down below this we have the Google My Business local pack here, and then below that we have our organic earned in rankings. Okay, so this one here is absolutely perfect. Their title tag is perfectly within the limits. They include their keyword, their URL looks nice, and then their meta description, it looks like they might have intentionally put that ... But it's possible that their meta description was too long and it got cut off, and that's why they have that ... Now the second one is not good. Their title tag cuts off here. You can see by the ... The URL has a lot of strange parameters in it and punctuations that shouldn't be there. And the next one has a meta description that is cut off. So that's what not to do. But yet, see how well they're still ranking on the search engines? That's why I'm saying some of this stuff is just best practices, and it could make a difference if you're going head to head with somebody else for position 1, 2, or 3, and your title, your URL, and your meta description looks really clean and well put together and includes a call to action, and it gets more clicks than the other site. There's a good chance you'll pass that other site. Okay, so those are just some things to keep in mind. So best practices. So what I'm doing is I'm going through some of my warnings here, and you can see here that I have 66 pages that have too much text within the title tag. So they were too long. The title was too long. So I figured, all right, I've got to rebuild all these showcase pages anyway. So what I'll do is I'll just go through my little warnings or my hints, and I'll rebuild my pages around that. So what you're going to see now is how I do that. So this report, by the way, is done with a fantastic tool called SEMrush. You'll be able to access the link here in this video. SEMrush, my favorite SEO tool, and it does everything from tracking keywords to measuring the site's health and giving me site audit reports on a regular basis, to measuring my content and what I need to create to compete against the other big guys. It gives me my competitors, keywords, pay-per-click, organic. It's really quite comprehensive, okay? So I've got this report here. So let me close out this page. So we're going to go ahead and build this one here, 89101 Las Vegas real estate and home prices. So I can click this little blue arrow and it'll open that page for me. And what I'll be able to see is that my title tag was just a little bit too long here. But instead of just changing my title, I'm going to go ahead and build the new page since I need to build it anyway. Okay. So all I have to do is go up here to new showcase. And this is only available in Ballen real estate websites, this showcase page, because it's custom to us. We built it. If you have a regular WordPress or another website that you're using, you're just going to go in and build however you build your community pages, your neighborhood pages. So it's going to look a little bit different than mine because I have the showcase options, but I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it as if you were building the showcase page. So the first thing I want to do is give it a title. Now I'm working on 89101. So here I'm going to do 89101 homes for sale. Keep it nice and short and clean and easy. Okay. Now, I've got to choose a category for where I want this page to show up in my link boxes, okay, or my category boxes. So let me give you an example of, let me just go back here to 89030. Okay, there we go. So let me give you an example of where these link boxes show up. So right here, in the old days, we just called these tables because we were building on table press. Now we're calling them link boxes or category boxes. Okay, so this is like the category box. Where do you want this page to show up in those category boxes? So here, this is a pricing box. See how I have homes for sale under 300. So this is a North Las Vegas pricing box. But if I click back on North Las Vegas, what I'm able to see is all the different category boxes. So I have communities, I have subdivisions that I've just started on, I have prices, and I have zip codes. So you build these out how you want them and how your market works, okay? So zip codes are really big in my market. So for me, this 89101 page, where it's asking me where do I want it to show up, what category box, I want it to show up right here under zip codes, okay? So I'm going to choose to put this in the zip code box, and now it will appear in all category boxes that are zip codes for this particular parent page. So the parent page, 89101, I want that to go inside somewhere. Now in my case, I have multiple cities. So I have Las Vegas, I have North Las Vegas, and I have Henderson. So this zip code happens to fall in the Henderson city. So what parent page do I want? Henderson. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the Henderson parent page. So I already built the Henderson parent page. And now I'm saying this 89101 child page or sub page should fall under the Henderson city page. Okay. So I know it's a little confusing. You have your category box. That's these. And then you have your city page, and this is going to come into play when we add some custom link boxes to our page, okay? So here, now we need to choose a slug for the page. So this is going to be our main website. In my case, the main website domain name is ballenvegas.com, okay? Inside my website are hundreds or thousands of pages, right? There will be thousands of pages once you get up to a certain point. Each one of these pages, if I click on it, if you look back up into the URL bar, has its own URL. It has its own website address. So after Ballen Vegas, after that slash, anything that comes up here is in the slug. Well, how this works is each one of the parent pages here has its own little section. So in this particular case, we have Ballen Vegas. This is the 89123 page. So here is the URL for 89123. It happens to fall under the parent page zip codes, and the zip code page is under the city Las Vegas. So each one of those pages has its own little identifying code, and they show up in the URL structure. And so here, we know this is going to show up under Ballen Vegas, locations, Henderson. And now I'm going to say I want this to show up under 89101 homes to be the URL of this page. The distinct identifier to help find this page, okay? Now when you put that in there and you hit tab, it's going to automatically put this inside And it's going to say, this is what's going to show up in the link box, link text. And you're going to say, well, what does that mean? Well, over here, remember this? Remember our little link box here? And we said we wanted to show up under zip codes. Well, this little identifier here, 89101 homes, is what actually reads in the table. Okay? So remember, in my case, all of my zip codes just say 89101, 89102, 89103. See that? So I want to keep these all the same and keep them clean. So I don't want that word homes there, so I'm just going to get rid of it so that it shows up as 89101 here. Got it? All right, now we need to start building the content. Now, my showcase pages that are the simple showcase pages, which means they don't require super comprehensive text to describe the community. They're pretty simple. So these are small neighborhoods where they're basic zip codes. They're going to have three components. They're going to have a very short description. They're going to have the IDX, the grid of homes, and they're going to have a map. Those three things need to go right here in my content. So the first thing I'm going to do, add a content block, general content. And I'm going to describe 89101. Now, this is what helps eliminate the duplicate content errors that show up in your SEO report. This should be unique to every page. Yet, it doesn't have to be super lengthy and super comprehensive. Okay? Now, I'm a big teacher about words on the page. I like to have a lot of valuable content. But if these are just small places that aren't going to require a whole lot of content, then this little small description is going to work just fine. And these pages still rank very well in the search engines, okay? But if you're describing a community, for example, I have a master plan community here called Summerlin. We have tons of master plan communities. I'm going to put hundreds to possibly thousands of words on the page describing Summerlin. I'm going to talk about the school system and the parks and the local mall and top restaurants, and really make it special because I want to rank high for that community. These pages aren't going to require that so much, okay? So you have to use your discretion when it comes to that. So here we're just going to do our simple one, and we're going to put a small description. Now here's where I get the content for this. So it's 89101. I go over to Google. I'll show you from scratch. Go over to Google. And we're going to look up the map for that zip code. So I'm going to type in 89086 map. And here's a map of the area. Click on it. Now, there are a few cases where there's not a map created. But in most cases, there's a Google map for that area or that community or that zip code, okay? Now I'm going to zoom in on it. Oops, I'm sorry. We were working on 89101. Oops. I've done so many of these this morning, I'm going bug-eyed. 89101. Okay. There it is. Perfect. Now, the nice thing about this is that Google Maps shows you a lot of the locations that it feels are important on the map. And as you zoom in and out, you'll see more or less. Okay? So all I need is enough to describe the general area to give somebody a feel for what that zip code contains, okay? So I could talk about the parameters. You know, I could say that this zip code runs from this street to this street, or from Owens to West Charleston, and describe the parameters if I wanted to. In my case, I'm just doing this. I'm putting 89101 is a zip code inside the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so yours might be a county or a town or parish or whatever yours is referred to as, okay? Now I put, it is home to, and I go look at the map, and I'll say, okay, what is it? Oh, this is home to downtown Las Vegas. It's home to the Neon Museum. Obviously, I'm in Las Vegas. Plaza Hotel, Casino, and Suites. the Mob Museum, Freedom Park, and Bonanza Village. Now, we're going to keep this simple today, but as I come back, I kind of build in layers. So I'll build all of my IDX pages like this. Then I'll go back in and on the second round, after I've got them all built, and start diving in deeper. So for example, I might put a link here, downtown Las Vegas. I've got a whole blog that I built on downtown Las Vegas. So what I do is I look it up. Now I forget. Is it just downtown? Okay, I might have to look up what I called it, but here's one. Airstream Tiny Living in Downtown, Lofts Downtown. So let's just say this was my downtown Las Vegas blog. And then I would hit enter, little arrow, and now it has a link to the downtown Las Vegas page. So if the user, if the visitor that's on this page is interested in learning more about that area, they can click through on my links that I've written about each of these places, if I have them, and they can check that out, okay? So, especially your residential neighborhood. So, Bonanza Village, click on the link, Bonanza Village. As long as I have a page that I've already built called Bonanza Village, it would show up in here. If it's not there, I know I need to create one. That's kind of the map of how I know how to do this. And then I'll put contact us to buy or sell a house in 89101. I'm going to put contact us. I've got a little page all about us. This is where I'm going to link to the vanity page and the form. Okay. Now, if I want to get more comprehensive on this, I could put the average selling price of homes in 89101 is, the cost of living is, and do some demographics. But I'm going to put those down towards the bottom of the page after I put in the IDX listings. In my experience, I test and measure all of this, and I use heat maps, and I can measure where people click and where they scroll. And in my experience, they very quickly click on one of those pricing tables up at the top, one of these link boxes, category boxes, right? They click on one of these quickly, and they're generally not reading all that text. And so things that are more visually pleasing, graphs and charts and maps and things like that are better for the actual consumer. But a little bit of text you want on the page for sure. Give them reasons to click somewhere else. I might put the schools in here, okay? But I'm going to do those second round. I'm not going to do them on the first one because there's so many pages to build first, and then I come back and make them richer. So the next thing, I remember I said there's 3 components for these basic pages. Now I'm going to add the homes for sale listings. So I click Add Content Box, IDX Broker Showcase Widgets, okay? So now these are going to be shop homes for sale in 89101. Now it doesn't require another a tag there, another title there, but it's, you know, another SEO practice to have multiple H2 tags, heading tags on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Plus, if I wanted to include a table of contents, putting these in here is a good idea so that I can then add a table of contents if I've built enough components on this page. Okay. So now widget page, we go back over to our IDX. So I'm using IDX Broker. IDX Broker does power all of the Ballen real estate websites, all of our brews. And what I have here is you can see all of these zip codes I've already created. Well, to make this very simple on myself, since there's so many steps, I'm going to duplicate this widget, okay? Now, if you look here, if I hit preview, this is what this little widget is building, this grid of homes. It's beautiful, and this is all customized. What we love about IDX Broker is that it's so customizable. So there's a lot of things we did to this, our developers did to this, to make these little active boxes appear, and to make the view details larger and buttons bigger. There's a lot of things that we did to customize this to our own liking. And anybody who buys, obviously, the brew sites gets this customization. And if you're interested in one of those, go over to ballenbrands.com/brew. ballenbrands.com/brew. BREW, like coffee. All right, 89086. And I'm just going to click copy, duplicate. Duplicate this widget. and we're going to name it 89110. So what it's going to do now is it's going to carry over, 89110 homes. It's going to carry over all of the settings from all of these widgets here. So all I have to do now is copy the code, but I do need to go in and edit one thing in that widget, and that is the zip code. So I'm going to go to hit the pencil to edit it. I'm going to take this zip code out, and I'm going to put in the page we're working on, 89101. And I'm going to go down here and click Save. So everything else is the same. So now I go back to my page. I've already pasted the code, and I just paste it in here. So now we've covered our first two components. Remember, the little description, the IDX widget. Now we need to add the third component, which is the map. Add content block, and we're going to click Embed Code. Google Maps, YouTube videos, etc. Embed Code. Okay, so now we're going to call this the 89101 zip code map. Go back over to Google Maps, click Share. Go to Embed Map. I use the large map, and I'm just going to paste this iframe. I'm going to go back over here and paste it into that embed code. And this, there's plugins that allow you to install Google Maps. I like to paste in the code directly whenever I can because it doesn't slow down the website. And if you're using a website, test your speed. You really need to load within a few seconds. And sometimes these Google Maps can really kill your website speed if you're not using the right hosting company. Here at Ballen Brands, we do have the ability to set you up on a super fast website host, and that also provides backup services and some updates and things like that. So if you're looking for a very low cost but super efficient web host for your WordPress website, you can also contact us at Ballen Brands. We can get that set up for you. All right. And I had this problem on a couple of my old websites originally before we set this all up at Ballen Brands. When I was building my real estate websites, they were too slow. They were loading in like 8 to 11 seconds. Every time I added a Google map, it just killed it. So we don't have that problem on our Brew websites. Okay, now we're going to get technical again. Those were simple. Intro, IDX box, map. Okay. Now, this is where people get a little bit caught up and confused, so I'm going to take this a little bit slower. The first option here is featured showcase. Essentially, it's asking, do you want this page to be featured on your home page? So let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to go back to my home page. Scroll down. These are your featured locations. Do you want them to show up on your homepage? Okay, I've got a couple here I didn't mean to put on here, so I'm going to uncheck those after I'm done. But if you do, you check off that little box. If you don't want that on the homepage, don't check it off. The next section is the category box. So what you're saying now is, at the top of this page, let me go back to that other example. At the top of my 89101 page, I want a box to appear, and now you get to choose what type of category box you want to show up on the top of your page. Okay? Now, by default, it will post a directory of whatever pages that page, whatever parent page it's part of. So for example, we're building the 89101 page. It's a zip code. By default, this is what will show up on the page. Browse by zip code. Now, that's not always the best page for that, okay? You have to think to yourself, okay, so this person did a search on Google, let's just say, and they looked up homes for sale in 89110. And this is how people really search. I get this all the time. And they're looking at this page. Are they then also going to be interested in all of these other zip codes? Probably not. They'd be more inclined to look at homes in 89110 by price or by feature. So if I had a table here that had homes for sale in 89110 under 200,000, under 300, under 400, or a feature box, homes with pools, 3-bedroom homes, 4-bedroom pools, homes with RV parking, homes on over an acre, horse-owned property, that would be appropriate. But I have not built all those out yet. Remember, we're just on the top page, which is 89101. So I haven't built out all of those homes for sale pages, so they're not going to show up here automatically. So what I do instead is I look at this and say, okay, well then I believe anybody that's sitting here looking at this page isn't going to be interested in browsing other zip codes, but they might be interested in browsing homes for sale in Las Vegas by price. Just homes in Las Vegas in any zip code under 200,000, under 300, under 400. So I'm going to choose to put that table up here, that link box up here, for now until I can build out more of that 89101 page. Okay? So I'm going to say, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to say, add a category box. And I want a pricing box to appear. Not a feature box, not a neighborhood box, not a zip code box. I'm going to do homes by price. Show advanced features, yes. Now I'm going to type in what they're browsing or shopping for. So I'm going to put shop all of Las Vegas by price. Or shop Las Vegas homes by price, or browse Las Vegas homes by feature, whatever. I'm going to tell them. By default, it's just going to say browse by price. But if they're on the 89101 page and they see browse by price, they're going to assume all of those links are going to lead them to homes for sale in 89101 by price. So I want to tell them they're searching all of Las Vegas right now. Okay? Once I build out all those homes by price pages, now I'll leave it browse by price. But since I haven't built them yet, I need to just use the city. So shop all of Las Vegas by price. Then I'm going to say, what page do I want to show up there on top? Well, I want my Las Vegas city page to show up because 89101 is a zip code in Las Vegas. So I'm going to say, show me the cities. And I want it to show up in Las Vegas. Okay? Now, down here is all your, where you're going to have your SEO tools, your schema tools, any of that kind of stuff you're using, okay? So in this particular case, I have Yoast here if I want to do anything with the Yoast plugin, and then I have my schema plugin down here. We're not going to get into that today, but that's what those are. So you would, if there's anything you need to do on those, you would do those here. And then the final step is to add an image. So I'm going to set my showcase image. I've already got a default I'm using for my I'm in Las Vegas, not North Las Vegas. Oh shoot, didn't I already build this page, 89101? No, I didn't. Okay, so I would create an image for 89101 for the zip code page, similar to I think I have one here on the home page. Hold on. Similar to these. See how I have the little 89123 up there? So what I do is I use canva.com, and I use Shutterstock for my images. So I find a clip art of a house that is similar to ones in that area, or you can go take the pictures. You can't steal the pictures from somebody else's website. You can either go take them or you can use copyright-free images. Sometimes I'll use kitchens, see your kitchens. These could be anybody's house, or living rooms or things like that. And if you go over to Canva and you put that picture in there, you can do a little layover and just put this little box right on top of it and put the zip code there. Okay, I like how that looks personally. So I'll go ahead and show you, I guess, since I'm walking you all the way through this. Let's go to Canva and let's go to Shutterstock. Okay, log in here. Log me in. Okay, so let's see if I've got a template. I think I've got a template here already saved to this one. Where are you taking me? Okay, I'm not super organized. Sabrina is super organized. She's my assistant. and she puts things all in the right files and whatnot, and I don't. And I think she really hates it when I'm in her account because I clutter it all up, and now I can't find my designs that I made. Shucks. All right, well, let me just show you. So let's go to create a design, and I think I'm using the Twitter size. I like when they're wider and not as tall. They seem to look better on social media and on the blog post rather than just the square ones that seem to get cut off. And so over here, I'm going to find a picture of a house in 89101. And if I look at my 89101 listings, these are kind of, ignore the fact that this is our old IDX. They're kind of older homes. 89101 has a lot of older homes, downtown area. So I'm definitely not going to use anything super fancy. So I'm going to do something like a 1-story contemporary. Let me find something like that. This one's good. Well, we don't really have trees like that in Vegas. So I'm going to probably use, so I'm going to get as similar as I can, maybe to something that would be in that area. And again, here it's tougher because we don't have the water and the trees in a lot of these neighborhoods. So it would be very obvious that it's not in Vegas if I go too far with big old trees. That one's not bad. Okay, so let's take this one. So I always load medium so that my schema measures the image as the right size and doesn't give me any error codes. I'm going to download it. And I'm going to name it. Oh, we're going to use Canva, so it doesn't matter. I don't really have to name it, but let's just put 89101. I'm going to go back here to my Canva, and I'm going to, oh, I know, hold on. I need a layout. Let me find the layout I like. So we could do something like this. Okay, so all I have to do now is I'm going to change that image and I'm going to change this text. Okay, I'm going to try to keep them all the same, so I should have had that template saved right there. But here, 89101, I'm going to drag this and put it here. Okay, and while it's loading, oh, there it is, I'm going to move that over to this and see how it replaced the old image. And then you can change this, move it around so I can kind of get rid of some of those trees. So you can crop and stretch and play with it. And then here, I'm going to change this to 89101. And I can change the color. I can change the style of that text. I can change the size of this box. See that? Now it's looking much more like my other one, right? I can move this around. And I can even change that now to not be that fancy little cutout. And instead, I could put a little rectangle. Now it'll match my other ones better. Let's just do... You can do, watch how you shape these. You just move them down however you want them. Shrink that way down. Put that here. Then I'm going to move this to the back so that that text comes through to the front. There we go. Now we're looking like our old one. Again, save it as a template. It makes it much easier. I was moving too fast. Okay, so something like that. find the font you like, find the box you like, find the location of the box you like. Okay, then all we got to do, let me move that. I'm not liking that. Let me just move that up a little bit. Okay, now download. When you go to download, you're going to save this as a keyword optimized title, because when you upload it to your website and you publish it, you want to index for Google Images. You want this to show up on sites like, possibly be pinned on Pinterest. So I'm going to name this 89101 homes for sale or home for sale. Then I'm going to go back over to my blog post, upload file, select file, find my picture I just loaded. There it is. Click open. The page title is automatically going to load, and then we need to add an alt text. The alt text is an attribute that is applied so that anybody who's blind could actually hover over this text, and their software is going to tell them what this picture is about. So this is kind of a off-white single-story house with brown roof and trees like houses in 89101 or something like that. Okay. Obviously, I'm squeezing in that zip code, but it's my keyword, but it kind of flows in there naturally. So I'm not stuffing it in there. This home is supposed to depict houses in 89101. Set showcase image. Okay, and now we're done. Now, that image took a long time. So if you have a default image, so all of my North Las Vegas homes are pulling under this image, and all of my homes for sale in this zip code are pulling this image, it's much faster. But if you do have to make the image, it takes a little bit more time. But if you save a template, I could have gotten through that in a minute and a half. So then we're going to click publish, and we're going to take a look at what it looks like. Then we have one more step, which is the redirect from the old page to the new page, and I'll show you how I do that. So now we're going to view the showcase, and we're going to make sure that we did it right. Okay, so see, there's the box we added to the page. Remember, by price, if we hadn't put this in there, this would be all those zip codes. There's our little description. Here's our list of homes for sale. Here's our map. Nice and clean. Looks great on mobile. Looks great on desktop. User-friendly, Google-friendly, all of that good stuff. Now, on our SEO page, what we need to do here is we need to take this URL and copy it to our new page. And on our old page, so this is our SEO report. Remember, it said, here's your page. It has the words too long. This is the old page. It's right here. I'm going to edit it. And I have a little plugin, a very light plugin called Quick Page Post Redirect. And I'm going to say, make a redirect active. Here's the old page. This page is the old page. I want to send it right here to the new page. Then I'm going to click update. And now anytime anybody clicks on that old page, it redirects to the new page. It won't show an error anymore on the SEO report because it's automatically doing the redirect and picking up the new page. Google will then get the signal and index the new URL and get rid of the old URL, although that may take a little bit of time for that to show up. The redirect is instant, but Google changing the URL in its index might take a little bit more time for it to show up. Another way you can do redirects, if you have Yoast, go over here to your dashboard. Go down here to your Yoast plugin and find redirects. Little button that says redirects. And you say, here's the old URL. So this would have been the old URL here. Paste it here. Here's the new URL. And then hit add redirect, and it will give you your redirects. There's lots of ways to do those redirects, but essentially all you need to know is that you've got to send it the old page to the new page, and you're done. So that's how I am working today on rebuilding my community pages, my neighborhood pages on my real estate website. Keep me in mind for your referrals, ballenvegas.com. Lori Ballen team here serving Las Vegas, Henderson North Las Vegas, specializing in Summerlin, the master planned community. And check out ballenbrands.com.